click and make sure to take a long rest to kind of reset the day before. And when you are prepared to, if you'd like to go back down into the tavern, you are more than welcome to come across the three sisters and their barkeep Eric. But for what it is worth, you all are inside of Barovia, and you can kind of tell me where you would like to go from Blood on the Vine here, and we will progress from there.
Let's say you guys to go on down to the Burgomaster's mansion and talk with Ismark to see if he's seen Tatiana. I'm saying this quietly so no one else can hear us in the bar.
I'm in favor of going south.
So that sounds. Go ahead, Sinmorn. What were you thinking?
Oh, I was just saying that I'm down to keep following the rest of the group. I'm still on my mini quest of looking for my family's jewels, so wherever they want to go next, it's good.
So, as you all prepare to leave the Blood on the Vine, you can step out of the actual tavern, looking out, freshly rested. It's still dark. This is the second time that you're pretty sure you slept at nighttime and you woke up and it's still dark. It's the same dusk. Nothing's really changed as far as the lighting goes in this place. You feel rested. You feel like time's passed, but there's just darkness around. You can look up. We don't see a moon at present. Seems like the moon's not there. That's a sign that time is still progressing. But let me get a perception check from the group here. Raymond, as you look off and around this area, you can pick up a few different things happening in the immediate kind of like town square that Blood on the Vine looks over. There is a woman who seems to be walking, and it's almost like she's coming out of the mist herself. You can see like that kind of haze that's kind of covering over her. And you can actually see that there are uh, dark creatures that are following just behind her. She doesn't seem to be aware of them. She doesn't seem to be aware of you. But among picking this up, you also hear screaming that is coming from the south and actually beyond this person. Let me get a history check from you, Raymond. Excellent. What would you like to do, Raymond?
I'm gonna look back to the group and ask them if they hear the screams. And then I'm gonna say we should probably go check it out.
If you tune out the screams, the group itself can definitely pick up on the actual noise. It's pretty similar to what I believe it was probably Sinmore, I think 2 days ago, kind of picked up. But regardless, it's that same house that's kind of across the square near the Mercantile that screams seem to be coming from. Um, what's everybody thinking here?
As Raymond looks towards me, I just kind of shrug my shoulder and just say, "Sounds pretty normal to me."
I want to roll for stealth. As I go over there, like, I don't want to be too obvious.
All right. So when you're walking around in the streets, how are you going to be stealthy?
I'm going to try and blend in more so just because there's a possibility that I would be known.
What are you trying to blend into, though? Like, describe to me what you're doing because you're walking around in a street right now.
I'm not going to be associated with the group. I'm just going to be like hiding my face.
Gotcha. So let's throw you all down here. You are effectively in the center square right now. Theo, you can just kind of separate yourself from everybody else. That's probably even still a little too small of a map. Give me 1 second, actually, my bad. That's probably a little bit better. So you guys can place yourselves. Blood on the Vine exit is up here. So you can place yourselves on the map. And you can kind of decide where you are at present. And we'll see how this kind of plays for a moment. So as they're all kind of at that entrance, where is Sinmorn going to break off to?
Hold on. I need to get my icon in. Sorry. I'm going to scale the buildings and go on top.
All right, roll a dexterity check. You're just trying to climb up, and as you're looking over this building, there is nothing for you to climb at present. It's going to take you a few minutes if you want to climb on top of these buildings.
Okay, I ditch the idea and just start hiding, like behind various objects.
All right, so you all hear this screaming. You see this woman who's being chased by these dark objects, and are preparing to move off to the south to investigate the noises. And Theo's going to kind of remove themselves to. Damn it, Sinmorn is going to remove themselves to that little alley. What are the other three of you doing at present?
I'm wondering if Sinmorn has pants.
Raymond stole them weeks ago.
What? Why?
Ooh, I did not steal those pants. That was Ali. I'm gonna throw Ali under the bus.
I indeed stole the pants because all these clothes were just kind of left right there, and you guys wouldn't let us out of the room. So, just as a form of retribution, we took your pants. We thought we'd see you at breakfast the next morning, but unfortunately, you weren't there to be found.
So as I see Sinmorn kind of just walking away from the group, I'm a little confused. I'm gonna look over to Hector and Ali, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the new character, but see where you guys would like to go and see if you'd like to go investigate those screams and start heading out.
All right, Raymond, where did those screens come from again? South?
Yes, I heard them that way.
All right, let's progress through the town. Is
If
anyone
you
from
all will
Scout Quest?
hold up for one moment here. Rin, as you are kind of just walking through this town, there's going to be a few moments where the mist kind of closes in on you. And you've been in this situation before. Your flesh has burned while you walk through it. And at some point, you found yourself outside of it. As this is happening now, the thing that's really coming across to you is that there are two creatures following you. You see these dark apparitions, don't really see anything to them. They're just darkness, and you can see them almost as if there were a bright light in front of you. They were being cast across the ground. And as this kind of crosses your path, you see the mist kind of separate out, and there are three individuals who are kind of looking off to you. Uh, what would you like to do, Rin?
So am I coming in from on the edge of this kind of map area? Can I see the group, or am I just kind of misty and know I'm being followed?
Uh, okay, I don't know if you saw the last message I sent you, but you did not actually drop your token on Rin in here. So that little generic torso is you right now. You are in the center of the map, and the two dark apparitions are right behind you. And yeah, I probably could have put you a little more forward so you could see Raymond as well. But effectively, you can see Ali, Hector, and Raymond coming out of that tavern there.
So Rin walks, Rin is walking forward. Is there anything that I can do to check the guys or check what is behind me better than what I've detected? Can I turn around and see what's following me?
You could certainly do what you would like there. You can either walk towards the others. You could try to like insight check to figure out what these things are doing. Um,
Nope,
or
nope,
do
nope, nope.
like Arcana.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to join the group before I do any sort of investigative activities. Um, so I would kind of rush out a little bit anxious about what's behind me and actually look for a group of people to kind of run towards.
Yeah, with your perception, you notice these streets are empty. This is a ghost town. So the moment you actually see people, that alone is a stark change to things.
So I'd walk up to the group. I'm a little confused. I'm a little disheveled. This happens all the time. I wake up in a new place. I have to figure it out quick, and so I kind of approach the group and um, looking really curious.
So let me have you make a Constitution saving throw, please. Everybody, as this character starts to approach you, describe what Rin looks like for everyone, please.
So I'm young, and I'm small, and I have on a kind of a old brown cloak that kind of covers everything underneath. But I definitely look like I'm not from around here.
And make a Constitution saving throw for me. So, as you all see this person approaching you, these wisps behind her are drawing the color from her flesh, and she is getting paler and paler with each step closer to you. What's everybody doing?
I'm gonna point out to the group, hey, do you see that person over there? And I'm gonna draw my mace and kind of square up and get ready for a fight.
Yes, it looks like another fall traveler. We should go take a look. And I'll go ahead and pull out my my short sword.
So Rin would
What's Hector thinking?
Hector also draws both short swords.
And Sinmorn?
I'm just keeping a weary eye on Rin. Also, I'm gonna go steal some pants.
Let me have everyone roll initiative.
sorry, Mara, do you see what I did there?
I gotcha. So it's entirely likely that Sinmorn will not take part in this, as Sinmorn is on a quest for pants. Very true to Bard form there. As far as things go, though, when you all roll initiative and hit the same initiative, you will go at the same time. For what it is worth, again, as long as I feel like it's likely Sinmorn is not going to take part in this, that is fine. But for all combats, I definitely want people to plan what they're doing while everybody else is going. So you're just kind of doing minor adjustments turn by turn. But normally at that point, though, Hector and Sinmorn, I would want you to actually be like messaging between each other on Discord, so you can actually plan your turns because you have the same turn, which means like each of you could move and then you can like attack as a team. This is where like cinematic advantage becomes a thing. You can do a lot of extra crazy shit because you're taking turns together. But for what it is worth, assuming Sinmorn is going after pants, Hector, what would you like to do?
Okay, I'd like to um, step forward as far as I can. So I might measure here and say, Traveler, no, watch out. Those two behind you. Do you feel that darkness coming behind you? So I'm gonna ruler here. It's around 35-ish feet. Okay, so that's like 40 feet. So I don't know how much ground I can really cover.
This has the movement at the top of your character sheet. Should be 30.
All right. Basically come up here and try and grab Rin's hand just to kind of pull her a few steps away so she's doesn't have her back to these monsters.
You could grapple her, but you can't actually move. You're out of movement. so you can't actually move her.
Okay, I will just verbally tell her, watch out behind you, and kind of ready my swords.
Gotcha. So what are you thinking, like ready to action? What's your trigger?
As a newer player, I'm not really sure what to do here because I obviously know how to
So
attack.
like something attacking and doing something hostile is a good trigger that you'll attack then. Something getting close enough that you attack is a little bit more hostile of a trigger, like on your end. But basically, you kind of just have to state like what has to happen for you to swing your sword.
If these creatures make any grabbing at Rin or myself, I will attack.
They already are. They're draining her life in front of your eyes.
Okay, I have my 2 swords ready to go as soon as they come in range.
Gotcha. So as soon as it's close enough to attack, you're going to swing.
Yeah.
And that will take it to Sinmorn. Are you going to break into a house?
Yes. Give me just a second, though. I'm gonna do. Can I cast a spell before I go in the house?
100%. What would you like to cast?
Okay. I need to go through my spells to.
And Raymond, you'll be up next.
I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy.
What effect are you looking for?
I'm going to have my voice boom for Rin to hear me to get away.
Gotcha. What are you saying to her?
Hey, yo, you need to get the fuck away from them. And then, can I give myself bardic inspiration?
Of course. Wait a second. No, I don't think you can. I think Bardic Inspiration, you have to be.
Oh, it says other than yourself. Dang it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to go to the school of. It's the one that gets the extra spells.
Oh, okay. I just say, get away. You be careful. You're in danger or something like that.
Gotcha. And then, would you like to do any other movement? Otherwise, we will go to Raymond.
And then I break into a house and just get some pants.
Gotcha. So, action-wise, you kind of use that with casting Thaumaturgy to notify Rin, but do a perception check here. The house that you're on has a window basically on that northwestern side. You can kind of move up just on the other side of that chimney to prepare to hop in their window.
Okay, cool.
And Raymond, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna move over here a little bit, and then I'm gonna point at the creature, and I'm gonna cast Toll of the Dead. As I point at them, I scream at "You shall not pass." Goes down the door, spells fill the air. Sorry, not a spell, a cantrip.
Roll 1d8. So as you see this creature that's pulling the color out of Rin's face and just drawing it back through the air, And you cast your spell. It seems to have some sort of an effect on it. And the creature kind of looks over to you and seems to have found a focus on you at present. And if that's all, it will go to Ali.
Was this the left monster, I assume, that Raymond went for?
Yeah, left side.
It didn't take damage. It just noticed it was being hit.
Some sort of effect is definitely meant to be extremely vague on what just happened.
Okay.
All right. I know I said I actually drew my short sword. Were you okay if I actually instead just drew my my bow?
For now, yes, but you do have to be good about what you do. If you're gonna draw your swords, you're gonna have to drop them to draw your bow in the future, because that's all it would come down to at this point. Is you would have to drop that sword to draw your bow and be able to do anything. But again, it's not meant to penalize you. But when you guys are trying to jump like the gun on a situation and be prepared for it, those decisions do matter. Because again, like combat's meant to be stressful, and that's why you're not meant to have like the time to think. It's supposed to be first action. Like, what's your reaction? Like drawing swords. This is a sword combat from now on.
Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, sorry about that. I just realized that we were outside, and it's kind of the first time that we've actually been outside, and I've been waiting to do this for a while. Um, yeah, so I'll go ahead and draw my bow, and then the first thing I'm actually going to do is cast Zephyr Strike. I put that in the VTT. It's right above Toll of the Dead.
I got you.
Cool. And then, yeah, all I'll do actually is just move. I can move up to 60 feet with Zephyr Strike. So yeah, I'll just run over here to like this other kind of streetway, this road, and just kind of flank the rest of everybody, and just draw my bow, and get ready for the next turn.
All right, so the way Zephyr Strike works is if you're not actually using that advantage, like burning Zephyr Strike, you don't get that speed. It's once you use it. So as far as things go, like you're already foregoing your action. Why aren't you attacking in here?
Sorry, I thought I was going to take a penalty for switching from short sword to bow.
No, like your free action. Everybody has a free action to interact with an item, or like that's where speaking comes in and such things. Like if you didn't draw your sword, you can free action draw your bow. If you did draw your sword, you can drop your sword, free action draw your bow, bonus action Zephyr Strike, give yourself advantage, run 60 feet, and then action take a shot.
Okay, yeah. So then I'll go ahead and just take a shot with the bow, and I'll let loose on the this thing that's on the left.
Gotcha. So you have advantage with that shot. And roll a d8. So as you shoot into this creature, the arrow flies into this darkness and is going to like clumsily fall to the ground on the other side of it. But there is actually like a burst from the point where it hits, where it seems like almost like a puff of air kind of disintegrates a little bit of this creature around the arrow. And then Rin, what would you like to do?
So I'm clearly having a bad time. so so I'm running forward as best I can with whatever's being drained out of me being drained. Um, I'd like to kind of, and I don't. Do you guys see me as a little common man? I tried to change it to my token, and it's changed for everything except on the board. So Mara, I don't know.
Oh, if you actually,
Yep,
no,
I read.
I didn't realize.
No, but I redid it. Thank you. But I would like to get a little bit away, from their immediate touch and cast shield.
Okay, you're definitely going to cast shield because as you start to move away from them, this time I'm actively attacking you with them.
Okay.
So the first one is going to miss with a 6. The second one, I believe, will just hit you with a 12. And when you proc shield, you'll actually feel that like drain of life stopped as it starts to reach out to you and the magic of your shield. So definitely cast the actual shield. In the future, shield is definitely a defensive spell. You only have to use that once something hits you. But it was pretty well bound to happen there anyways. But yeah, as your armor kind of increases with that magic, you immediately separate yourself from the touch of this creature. And they are going to follow suit. You can definitely move farther than 5 feet, and it probably wouldn't be a bad idea either. Now you guys get to see my really shitty dexterity rolls. Both of these creatures are going to move off towards Raymond. And as they get close to you, you're going to see as this darkness kind of extends out of this humanoid form. And as it starts to wrap around Raymond, his color is going to drain from his flesh as well, kind of floating through the air. The first one with an 8 is going to miss. Second one with a 6 is going to miss, and it's going to go to Hector.
Did Hector slash at that thing when it crossed, or did it not come within range?
They moved away from him.
All right. Hector is going to cast Toll of the Dead on the right monster.
Gotcha. Roll a d8. As you sound the bells, you're going to see as this shape that's reaching out and kind of encompassing Raymond, there's just going to be the shape of eyes that form on the back of what would be its head, and they're just staring directly towards you. Any movement or bonus action from you?
I'm going to move up and strike with my short sword.
That is your action to cast Toll the Dead.
All right, going to move there.
And Sinmorn? Oh, my bad, Sinmorn. I drew the window where you kind of would have moved last turn.
Oh, okay, thanks.
What would Sinmorn like to do as you can hop into that building?
I'm just gonna quickly rummage for some pants and hop back out. And seeing that someone needs my help, I'm going to
Whoa,
give
whoa,
my
hold on. You're not going to be able to do all that. Roll a d4 for me. As you hop into this room, you're going to see 3 people who are kind of laying down across this place. And as you hop in, all of them are going to slowly stand up as they kind of look towards you. And the one that you kind of hop right on top of is going to immediately grab for your leg and try to bite your ankle.
Ah, fuck. And then I swipe at the person and just be like, bro, I just want some pants. Do I need to roll anything to like avoid getting bit?
At present, that's me foreshadowing that in the same 6 seconds you're doing this, you're getting attacked by at least one of these things. But you can roll your attack. Gotcha. So that'll hit. That's just going to do 2 damage, it looks like. Oh no, you have a negative. You really can't do unarmed strikes with Sinmorn as long as you have a -1, because unarmed strikes just do 1 damage. You've got a weapon though. You could draw that with your free action still.
Okay.
Yeah, roll the actual damage for the longsword. We'll still take that 18 that hits anyways. And you still rolled a 0. All right, yeah. So as you like strike out at this person, probably being a little bit more cautious than not, maybe they didn't know what was happening. You just kind of flatter your blade, like smack them atop the head, and tell them that you're just here for pants. Nothing should be wrong with this, and we'll see how it turns out in this upcoming turn. Raymond, you have these creatures starting to reach out for you. What would you like to do?
As these creatures are coming close and it just doesn't feel right, I'm going to dig my heels into the ground and just try and fling myself back as hard as I can. I have to do an evasion.
Well, here's the thing. You can take the dodge action, or you could take the disengage action. But if you want to do anything this turn, you have to just walk away.
Okay, I'm going to just walk away, or try to.
Gotcha.
Like
So
back
they are
here.
each going to strike out at you here. A 12 and a 14 to hit. I don't think either of those hits, Raymond.
So as I step back, I'm going to use the Toll of the Dead cantrip again and say, I told you, damn beast, that you can't pass.
Which one are you tolling on?
The left one.
Gotcha. Roll a d12.
Is this target missing any hit point?
Yeah, that's why I said roll a d12. Yeah, if you're rolling it with that, yes, it is. Roll a perception check for me, Raymond. This creature is clearly sucking life out of things that it gets close to. That is necrotic to the core. It is causing death, and you are approaching it with a spell that causes death. Ali, what would you like to do?
I'll go ahead and I'm just going to move a little down so I have a better view of these apparitions. I'll go ahead and fire another arrow. I'm actually going to roll for this one. I got an 8 Where it says hit slash DC +6, do I add that onto my 8?
Sounds about right.
Okay, so that would make it a 14 to hit.
Gotcha. That will hit. I believe roll a d8, and I think you have a, what is it, +4 for your damage?
That's right. So 12.
So yeah, just leave the dice there in the future, and I cannot see them with wherever your light is. You are blinding them. But as your arrow flies through it, that creature just seems to move forward. Doesn't seem terribly affected by it.
Can I throw in a favored foe on that one? That's going to be an additional D4.
You certainly can.
Can you see that, Mara?
I still want you to call them out, but I want you to also leave the dice there. That's my point.
Okay, got ya. So that's a 4. I know it's kind of weird to see it on the triangular dice.
And any movement from you.
I'll just move a little further to the south and end my turn.
Yeah, so in the future, when you hit a creature, that's when you have to choose that you want to favor foe it.
Got ya.
Rin, I think it is on you now. Yep, it's on you.
All right. Go with me on this. So you show that I have sorcery points for subtle and quicken spell, right? So I can change a bonus action into an action.
You can change a cantrip, I believe. Yeah, you can change a spell that is an action into a bonus action.
Essentially granting me 2 actions or 2 spells. Right?
Effectively,
You're not
yes.
you're not gonna stop me. Okay.
You can't cast 2 leveled spells, though. You are still limited by the leveled spell. So you can quicken like a cantrip and cast another cantrip, or you could quicken a spell and then cast a cantrip.
Why does it have to be a cantrip? Why can't I do a level 1 and level 2?
Because there's a limit on casting actual spelled levels that you can only cast 1 per turn. The only people who can break that are effectively fighters who take the action surge and actually get to take another action. And that's one of those reasons that like a fighter wizard is a very powerful character.
Got it. All right. So I am going to take another movement back, but I'm going to cast Firebolt on the. What can I see the result from my first cast before I use my bonus action for my second cast?
Technically, you have to do the bonus action first, but yes, you definitely can. If Firebolt is going to be one of what you cast, just cast the. Yeah, it's kind of tricky because it really does need to be the bonus. Yeah, you
No,
can do
that's okay.
bonus
That's
action.
okay. So I'll do the bonus action first. So I will cast Magic Missile at 2nd level.
Gotcha. And which one are you going to target with that?
So at 2nd level, I get 4 missiles, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'd like to do 2 on each.
Gotcha. So for the first 2, roll basically 2d4 for the one that's on the right, and then roll a 2d4 for the one that is on the left. So you'll do 5 to the creature that's on the right, and then you'll do 7 to the creature that is on the left.
Excellent.
Uh,
Mhm.
Hold up one second. Let me actually describe what is happening to you so you can to side as these are flying out. As you actually describe your magic missiles to me.
So I definitely don't want to bring a lot of attention to myself. So I kind of secretly turn around and make some noise and move some hands around, and then I turn around and spread my arms wide and kind of shoot my hand at each one of for each missile.
That sounds actually quite elaborate. So you all are going to see as she kind of like turns around pretty much right into your face, Hector. And as she kind of like turns back almost in that like magician's flutter where the dove flies out of their wrist, you're going to see as these three little points of light slam into each of these creatures. And the one that is on the left is almost entirely void of any like form at this point. There's little wisps of darkness, but it is nearly dissipated. What would you like to do with the action then, Rin?
Then I would like to take my firebolt and cast that at the stronger one, the one on the right that's not as dissipated. Get out of here. Did that just roll a 1?
You did indeed roll a 1, which in case it doesn't actually matter whether you hit or not. Actually no, roll a d20 for me. I'm sorry, it does matter. So as you shoot this firebolt through this creature that seems to be healthier, you just see as it kind of passes through the darkness, and the darkness seems unaffected.
Well, I guess so it does not appear that the second one took any damage from that.
Indeed.
Well,
So from inside, everybody's going to hear a loud crash as one of these creatures is going to stumble over into Sinmorn and reach out to bite into her. The bite, a 12, I believe that's going to miss Sinmorn. And then as it kind of like falls forward and starts to like almost be on top of Sinmorn, it's going to try to claw at them with both of its claws, kind of trying to rip you into pieces. And I think both of those are going to hit.
Yeah, they both hit.
And it's going to do a total of 10 damage to Sinmorn. That's going to be very loud, by the way, because Sinmorn needs help here, just as a very meta thing.
Well, fuck.
Very dangerous quest for pants.
The two dark creatures are going to continue forward as they reach out again into Raymond, trying to grab at his soul. A 13 to hit and a 17. I believe both of those are going to miss. And then another of these creatures is going to... Actually, you know what? Yeah, it's got to. Another of these creatures is going to move up to Sinmorn, try to bite. We'll miss with a 9, or we'll miss with an 8 rather, and then doing the same thing where it's just falling right into them, and effectively just like with all of its bodily weight on top of you is just clawing at your flesh. A 10 and a 12. I believe both of those will miss. Oh wait, no, the 12 hits. And it's going to do another 6 slashing. And then I think, oh, I did that out of order. And then the one that you stepped on is going to try to bite you again. An 11 will miss. A 5 will miss as it claws at you. And then it will hit with the last one, dealing another 5 damage as it's rending your flesh. Hector. You hear the screams of Sinmorn from within the house that they just broke into. You've got these 2 creatures that are surrounding Raymond again.
Can I
What?
react?
No, there's no reaction when they're like moving into you. The reaction is when they leave combat.
Oh, okay.
Not
Right.
necessarily a bad idea for, I mean, technically this is still your turn. So you all are still happening at the same time. This is where you might actually take the advantage of that and yell out before Hector actually does anything.
No, I think I'm going to take the help from Hector.
Well, Hector's looking for the window and hears this noise. Is there any way to get into this? Hector's thinking about Sinmorn. What's the quickest way into this house?
I just what was there was like a pipe that was described earlier, right?
Yeah, you kind of went in the wrong side of the house. I told you it was the northwest. I just moved the window down to the southeast. So you would have seen that's where Sinmorn went into the building. As far as things go, I think it's acceptable for you to know that you can get in there. But for what it's worth, when you actually arrive there, there's nowhere for you to go inside of that house. It's going to take 25 feet of movement to get through that window at this point. Like from the window to inside is 25 feet.
Okay, Hector's gunning for it.
That's part of what I mean also. Like if Sinmorn goes first, you can take the disengage action and run away. And that would be a very wise thing to do.
So Hector sprints to this window, ready for anything, and sees 3 creatures. Then Hector is going to think on his feet and cast Bane, which is a debuff with up to 3
Hell yeah.
creatures.
Your DC is 12.
Okay, so I'm going to cast it. Do I need to roll anything with it?
No, it's a saving throw. That's why I'm asking you your DC. But cast it, and that'll tell me your DC. Okay, 13.
After casting, I assume that was pretty much my action. Hector's just ready with both swords to protect Sinmorn and him if anything comes through the window.
All of your spells tell you what kind of action economy they take. If you look at Bane, I'm pretty sure it's an action, but like all of your spells should tell you what they are.
Okay, yeah, like Hunter's Mark is a bonus action. Bane is a straight up action, so I only have an action, a bonus action left, if I'm correct.
Sounds right.
I guess I'm too far to get in at these creatures with a short sword, so just going to stand at the ready. Oh wait. Then Hector is also going to cast Hunter's Mark with a bonus action.
That's where you hit that same wall. You can only cast 1 spell per turn.
Okay. All right. Hector's done.
Sinmorn, what are you thinking?
I'm going to strike again with my longsword.
Gotcha. So I think you struck the one on this very far south right now, you can see it and the other ones start to get like, how to describe Bane right now. You can see these are definitely like people who have recently died. The two that Hector was able to actually affect, you can actually see as like the flesh that still kind of sticks to their bones is almost disintegrating to your eyes. Those are the two that are on the north and on the south. Which one would you like to attack with your longsword?
Are they both equidistant from me?
Yeah, effectively right now all three of those are 5 feet from.
Okay, I'm gonna lunge towards the one on the south.
Gotcha. And then Raymond, you'll be up next. Swinging out at it, you will be able to hit. And what's the damage? Is there any reason Sinmorn wouldn't be dual wielding when they have their longsword out? Or
Oh
not
no,
dual wielding,
definitely.
two-handed?
I'm two-handed fighting. I'm proficient in that.
Gotcha. And roll a what is it? D20 for me, Sinmorn. As you slash out at the creature, one of its arms is going to get cut off. And as it falls to the ground, the arm is still crawling for you, and it's like clawing into your legs. Raymond, what are you doing?
Realizing that my cantrip is not working, I'm gonna use my bonus action, Searing Smite, bless my mace, and then kind of step over this way to swing on to, or no, sorry, I'll stay right where I am, and I'm gonna swing on this right entity.
Gotcha. So bonus action on the Searing Smite, and then you can roll that attack. Anything else you're going to miss as you swing out at this creature?
I'm gonna try and take a few steps back here.
They are going to reach out for you again, trying to follow with you. And the second one is going to grasp into your soul, and it is going to do 12 points of necrotic damage, and your strength score is going to reduce by 2.
That hurts.
If your strength score reduces to 0, you are dead. Any stat that ever hits 0, death. There's nothing that changes that. So as he steps away, you feel physically weakened. You can actually modify that to make sure that you also don't get like encumbered by the weight that you are carrying. In the moment that your strength is reduced, you carry a lot less weight as well.
Okay, so on strength, like how do I reduce it on here?
If you just click it, you'll basically do a other modifier and just like press down so it's -2, and
Okay.
that's going to reduce it real quick. And that's all it is, because effectively this is one of those things that until you actually get a chance to rest, this is going to stick. And that's why these creatures in particular are severely deadly, is that if somebody has a dump stat of strength, they can kill you in 1 or 2 hits.
That's unfortunate.
And Ali, what would you like to do?
Is it possible to see if there is a window like right here in front of this home?
The actual door is right next to where that would be.
Okay, but there's no windows?
I wasn't going to put a window on that house until Sinmorn walked over there. So I'm sticking with that window that Sinmorn walked into is the only window on that house. I don't think people
Okay.
in Barovia can afford glass.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and unleash like another arrow in this left side apparition. That's a 12 to hit.
12 will hit.
And then 5 points of damage.
As the arrow kind of like moves through this darkness, it's going to dissipate as the arrow falls to the ground without any more momentum.
The next thing that I'll do is, let's see here. Oh, so that actually took the creature out.
Indeed.
Ah, yes! These apparitions can be killed. We've got them on the ropes. Attack! And with that, I'll actually just try to draw their attention even more to get them to move away from Hector and Raymond as I see that they're, kind of encumbered with these other things and also taking damage. So I'll go ahead and let's see here. I'll move just to the side of where I'm at now and just try to draw the attention of the apparition. And I'm doing that just by yelling out and saying, "Hey, you stupid thing, come and get me. I'm the one that you want. I just killed your friend and I'll kill you too." And I'll go ahead and end my turn.
All right, just to clarify, like when you're actually trying to affect stuff like powerfully with what you say, that's an action to do like an intimidation check or to do like certain checks like that when you're actively trying to do something like that. As far as a lot of things go, when you're just saying it as your free action, it's not necessarily going to be effective. But I just want to be clear, like you have to give up your action to make stuff like that happen a lot of times. What is Rin going to do here? You hear the screams from within the house. You see one of these creatures getting eradicated and kind of evaporating into the mist. You see Hector at the edge of this window. Did we lose you, Darcy? Can everybody hear me?
Oh no, I'm here. Sorry, I didn't realize you were talking to me.
Gotcha. What is Rin going to do?
What do those gooey eyes mean?
Oh, those are the two that are currently cursed by Hector. I can't think of the name of the spell.
It is 3 characters.
Two.
It says up to 3 right on here, unless I'm reading.
You cast it on 3, but one of them resisted it, so it has no effect.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What are the effects of and those are just regular live.
You have no clue. You've never met these people before. You've never seen that spell before because you can't cast it.
All right, fine. I would then from all the way the back here. I'm still readying spells and we're in combat and Rin's in for it. So, but since there's close conflict over there, I'd like to use my magic missile for the 3 that are over there by Thinmorn.
You can't actually even see them. They are inside of a building.
Oh, heck. Okay, I thought they were on a building.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you hear the screams and you can see Hector at the window, but you can't actually see anything going on inside of there. And you've actually never even seen Sinmorn at this point.
Understood.
They were hidden in the alley before you ever kind of like got around that corner.
Then I would like to I would like to change it up, attack the apparition in front of me with firebolt.
Solid hit, and as the firebolt kind of like sinks into this creature, you can see like the slightest bit of like a burning wisp, and then it's gone.
Excellent. Oh, and with my movement, I'm gonna try to go over and go inside the building. Or not all the way inside, but I'll move towards the building. Yeah. Yeah.
Raymond, if you reload your character sheet right now, I hit that modifier for you, so it should show up correct way.
Down to an 11.
That's correct.
Okay, sorry, I thought I had done that already.
And again, if you click on the strength, you can see where I put in other modifier and just reduced it to a -2.
Yeah, that's all. On my side, it was showing 11. So not much change. But yeah.
Alrighty, the southernmost of these creatures is going to slash out at or bite out at Sinmorn. An 8 will miss. A 15 reduced by 4 is an 11 plus 3 will hit, and that's going to do 6 more damage to Sinmorn. And then 14 to 13 to a 16 will hit
What?
and do 3 more to Sinmorn. How's Sinmorn looking right now?
Pretty fucked up. About to die.
Are these golden pants? These better be golden pants.
I just want some pants, man.
Rin moved right up in front of the wisp of darkness.
I thought I destroyed it. You said it poofed away. I thought you just forgot to move the token.
No, you burned a little bit of it. My point was to tell you that your firebolt did not do the damage that you would have expected it to do.
I misunderstood.
So you're otherwise not moving then?
I'm not moving right within like striking range of it.
The creature is going to move back over into Raymond, swiping out, trying to take his soul. It is going to miss, grasping for you. Another one of these zombies is going to bite out at, which one is this? This is the middle one. No Bane. Biting out at Sinmorn. The bite's going to stick. It is going to do 2 piercing damage to you, Sinmorn. And then 7 slashing as it claws at you. Are you still standing?
Hold on. No, I need to make a death saving throw.
Wait, does that take you to 0? I feel like I see you at 4. So the first one would have reduced you to 2, and then that second hit would have just put you at 0. Does that sound
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So this next claw attack is going to be at advantage. It will hit you with a 15, and that's going to be 2 death saving throws as it is clawing into Sinmorn.
How do I roll for that again?
Oh, no, you're not rolling. Like, you have 2 failed death saves just because it's biting into you. This next creature is going to crawl from the window and bite into Hector. That one will miss, and it's going to try to rend through his armor, clawing into you. Will a 13 hit Hector? No, 16. And then the last claw will also miss with a 14. And that is going to go back around. And start of your turn, I need a death saving throw from Sinmorn.
Which one do I click for that?
If you go into your hit points at the top there, once they're set to 0, you should see, I think it's a little red skull in the center. And you can click. All right, with that, Sinmorn is going to expire.
Can I do anything with? Can I stop time for any of that and re-roll any of it?
What's your chronergy there? I still don't think you've seen Sinmorn. They were specifically hiding from you, and I gotta really stick to that idea.
Yeah, but I saw the other guy that I was fighting with involved in something over there in the window to be involved with, and I see that he's
But to
interested, so I'm
But to
interested.
affect Sinmorn dying, let's take a break here and we'll see what it is. Because
Maybe
I
maybe I saw
really
him
don't
drop to
think
his knees and he said no, and then I stopped time.
my point is though is again, Theo was in particular hiding from you. And that's one of the things where actions have consequences. If it was an epic moment, it would have been an epic moment where they still hid from you. If it ends up being a very bad moment, it's a very bad moment. So let me take a look at chronology. Let's take a little break here. I'm at very least going to have a out of body talk with Sinmorn because they are going to experience some of the secrets of this land, regardless of whether you are able to affect the actual change of time here.
Got it.
Yep, it's a creature that you can see. So right off the bat, you cannot chrono shift.
Why can't I see through the window with my extra special elf eyes?
Because you're on the south side, and I said that the window is on that northeast side. Like it's right
Where you
by
drew
Sinmorn.
it. All right, all right.
Are you stepping away, Theo, or are you at your computer right now?
I'm at my computer.
Gotcha. I'm about to drag you into a channel real quick, and alrighty. So, if you would be so kind, can you roll a d20 for me, please?
14.
My bad. This takes a little bit of time because I do have to look up some stuff before I can actually run into it. Alrighty. So, as these creatures start to swarm over you, there's going to be a moment of severe pain, and then all of a sudden, you're going to find yourself surrounded in darkness. You can't feel pain, but you also can't feel anything. And it takes a few moments to actually recognize that. The first thought is certainly that the pain has gone and it's not there. But then you're looking around, you can't see anything. You feel like you're kind of moving your arm to like touch your face and see, and you can't feel anything. You can't feel the sensation of being inside of your body where you can actually move an arm. It's a very out of body moment. And as you kind of keep searching and your mind kind of settles into whatever is happening, there's certainly weird feelings about being bodiless. You can remember being attacked by these dead creatures that were tearing at your flesh, and there's safety in that it's over. But then you're going to start to see just a tiny little silver line. And as you focus on this line, you actually start to feel the sensation of like craning your neck. And seeing the line, you start to see your shoulder. And as the line becomes a little bit clearer, you start to see the room that you were just in and your shoulder. And you can feel your neck, and you're looking over your back. And you can see the others outside of the window. You can see this creature leaping out at Hector as you fall to the ground, and everything is moving so utterly slow, and you're just beyond the grasp of everything, but you're coming to recognize that your body is here. You still don't feel, but you can see it. And the more you focus your mind on these things, the more they're actually becoming a different sort of reality. And as you kind of focus and form your body, forming this room, everything's still moving as if you could spend a year in here and there's but a second passing outside. You're just going to start to hear laughter. And you kind of look in that direction, and then from behind you, you hear, and you look to that direction, and from behind you again, you hear, and as this goes on, you're starting to gain a sensation that there's 3, 4, 5. Roll an intelligence check for me, please. You start to pinpoint down that there's 5 different people who seem to be laughing at you. Each of them has a little bit more hideous, a little bit more of an insane, a little bit more vindictive of a laugh, but they all seem to be focused on you, your confusion, your plight, and where you're at. Before in unison, you're just going to hear, what cost would you pay to live once more?
Are there any benefits to being dead besides not feeling pain? And can I haunt stuff?
The power that I offer for you is the strength that you lack. You just
Okay.
hear all 5 of these voices saying the exact same thing, like in unison, just somewhere incorporeal to where you are.
I'm listening. How?
Your soul is forfeit. You will never leave this land. But if you are willing to pay the cost yet seen, you will become my champion. And with my strength, return to your dark land.
I'm so sorry to ruin the moment. Can you say those last two lines? My dog was barking really loud.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is where improving everything. If you're willing to pay the cost yet seen, my strength will become yours to return to this dark land.
What do I gotta
A-
do?
As you think about this, you're just going to hear again those same five voices in different like whispers and cackles. Just this name over and over again, the Great Tarhak, the Great Tarhak. And as the very moment where you say, "What do I have to do?" you're actually going to kind of feel as your physical sensation is going to return to you, and you are going to return to life. You all have some things added to your character pretty shortly here, but your strength is about to become 19. You're about to become strong as fuck.
Oh, hell yeah! What does my armor class go up to?
Your armor class will not actually increase.
Okay.
But you are effectively, this is the same thing that I told to Brendan. I feel like he thought it was really easy to make stuff happen by throwing his life away. And I wanted to remind him that if he dies again, he's dead. He already paid what you can buy here with your soul. And that's how he returned to life. And now, Theo, you are in that same boat with Sinmorn, where Sinmorn has made this sacrifice, but you are effectively now serving this new god, which is Tarhak. And again, I'll have a lot more details for you, but very shortly you will actually see it's actually better than 19 strength. Your strength, I believe, is going to become 25.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But for now, we will drag you back into the normal chat and continue with the moments there.
It won't let me put my strength as 25. Only 18.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not going to be something that we can apply like immediately. I have to actually create. That's why, like, when we created everything, I don't know if you remember, I told Brandon, like, you can't actually select what you picked because he basically picked one of the dark gifts from the gods of this land. Like, when you die, you have a chance to sell your soul for a dark gift. And that was like the feat that he's picked to start off with. And I was like, that's meant to be a punishment. You're not supposed to just think, oh, this is sweet. And that's what he picked. I'm going to have to create one of those to give Sinmorn access to this power.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Is everybody still at or back at the table?
Yes, we're all hanging out.
We're talking about you.
That's understandable. In the past, I've left the bot here so I can still listen. But after realizing that I did like this sweet thing for Brendan last time, I was like, oh yeah, I should probably actually drag the bot there and record it. So I remembered with the. So we are going to continue forward in this moment. Hector, what are you doing as you watch these creatures tear Sinmorn to pieces, and then they expire before your eyes and stop moving?
I have a spell I'd like to use at this point, but I feel like I need to clear a bit of safety. So, in Fury, I am going to strike at this monster nearest to me outside the window with both swords. Let's see here before. Yes, that is correct. That's what I'll do.
First attack is going to hit, dealing 6 damage. And second attack will follow with another 5.
So Hector screams out in anger at seeing Sinmorn ripped to shreds and just slashes both swords vertically down on the shoulders of this many-armed creature, which is terrifying.
Roll 2d20 for me, please. Gotcha. So as you're swinging out at this creature, your first attack, you're going to take off one of its arms. The second attack, you take off one of its legs. And as you chop these off, you see as the arm just falls seamlessly to the ground, and it's kind of crawling after you, already like crawling up your leg, and its nails are tearing into your flesh. And the foot is walking towards you and just kind of jumping at you. And it's gonna go to Sinmorn. We kind of just did what you're gonna do, what you had happen. It's going to Raymond here.
So as I just got hit really hard, I'm gonna cast Word of Radiant on
There we go.
Scream through Fury.
And it's gonna take no damage.
Oh, I'm gonna kind of hang my head in shame and attempt to move away.
As you move away, it is going to strike out once more for you. That will hit. It's going to do, I think that's 10 necrotic to you. And
So it
your
hits me
strength.
with an 18.
They have modifiers as well as you guys. I just roll straight d20 like what you guys see. It hits you with a 24 or a 22.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's going to do 10 necrotic to you with that hit, and then your strength score is going to be reduced a further 4 points.
Well, I am down.
Gotcha. So
But I can
Ali,
see that one, right?
yes, you actually can, but he didn't actually have to roll a save.
What does I'm down mean?
Oh, like he's down and unconscious at this point.
All right, so I will go ahead. So unconscious means he's at 0 hit points, right?
Hold up 1 second. As your reaction, you can do it to the hit, but that's still one of those things. Like when I hit him, you have to use it. You can't wait for him to find out that it's actually like severely deadly.
But I think
So
I think that's literally in the description that you get to see. You make this
if it
decision
hits,
after.
but that's when you make the choice. That's my point is though, is when I rolled that 18 and said it hits, that's when you have to tell me it chrono shifts, not after I deal the damage and tells him. You can do it now, but that's my point. Like for Rin in both games, like that's you have to actually do it how that wording is said. So when a creature hits him, you can chrono shift, but you have to do it before you know that that's actually a big hit.
Understood.
So you can burn that chronal shift, and it's going to miss. So Raymond, you can reset those.
Thank you.
My point is that is 100 times more powerful when you see that I, one, did almost its max damage, and also maximum reduction of his strength.
Well, clearly, that's why I would use it.
And that's clearly why you're limited to 2, because if you use them on shit rolls, it's a lot less potent.
Understood.
So Ali, you've got one of these creatures still continuing to attack Raymond, and you can see one of the creatures actually reaching out of the window to claw into Hector. What are you doing?
Just out of curiosity, when this chronal shift happens, is it like is it something that we perceive, like any of the other characters perceive, or is it almost like it doesn't happen to us, like time just flows as normal?
I would say none of you recognize any of that as happening.
Okay, thanks. So I'll actually use my free action to put away my bow, and then I'll use my action to once again yell out at this apparition and say, "Hey, you stupid, ugly fucking thing, come and get me. Look, I have no weapons. Come attack me." To just try to draw them away from the other 2 adventurers. And I will even move a little bit closer.
All right, so on this one, you're trying to intimidate it? Or you're trying to persuade it?
More of a taunt. Yeah, more like a persuasion.
All right, well, taunt isn't a skill, so persuasion or intimidation?
I'll just do a persuasion.
You can roll a persuasion.
That's a 1. So I don't even think this thing hears me.
I think it's a reach regardless. And I want to say that at very least at this point, Raymond is the only person who knows why he has that thing's ire so fully. But any other movement, any other bonus action? Otherwise, we are on to Rin.
No other bonus action. That's it.
Well, I'm going to cast Magic Missile at my last 2nd level. And target the apparition and then the one that's outside that I can see behind
Hector,
Hector.
how many missiles are you shooting at each one?
Do I have any way of gauging who's more damaged than who?
One creature is darkness, so I'm gonna have to say no, and the other creature doesn't look injured. It looks dead.
Oh. Well.
It does have an arm and a leg off, though, so maybe the one creature does look at least a little bit more damage.
All right. I'll take 1 magic missile at the one above Hector and 3 at the apparition.
Gotcha. Roll 3d4, and then followed up with 1d4. Yeah, if you do it like that, click it 4 total times, and the 1 will be the last one. Just make sure when you do it like that it doesn't take 4 spell slots.
And then what?
I mean, you don't have the spell slots now, but when you have to cast the spell multiple times, it's very key to make sure that you don't actually burn all of those spell slots, because D&D Beyond doesn't know the difference.
Okay, I only had 1 spell slot left anyway.
That's kind of what I meant. It doesn't really matter now, but in the future, I say that every time you cast a spell that you have to burn multiple times. It's my way of always remembering to say it so nobody misses. So those first 3 missiles are going to slam into the darkness, and this creature is going to, in each point where they hit, you're just going to see as the darkness kind of dissipates for a moment, and as it starts to recoalesce, it is certainly weaker than it was previously. Any movement or bonus action from you?
I don't I don't think so.
One of these creatures is going to crawl out of the window and moving around Hector is going to bite into them from the back. Big ol' miss, clawing into him with a crit, and then missing with the last.
How much damage is that going to be for the crit one?
Just wanted to make sure on the damage dice before I rolled them. It's going to be a total of 6 slashing damage as it's rending into your back, kind of like going right between your armor. And as it tears down on you, I need a Constitution saving throw, please. You are able to maintain concentration. The darkness is going to continue just sucking the color and the life out of Raymond as it just wheels around without us skipping a step. It's going to come back over towards you, and as it reaches out, it's going to hit him with a 20. You want to react?
Maybe if I can use Word of Radiance. I would like
No,
to.
this is me telling Darcy, do you want to react? Because this is when I need you to chrono shift.
Yes. Thank you for that. Sorry.
And it is going to continue to hit him as you switch to a new reality, and it's still grasping into him. It is going to do, what is that, 7 necrotic to you, and reduce your strength by, it was destiny, 4 more strength from you.
Is Raymond unconscious?
No, but I'm pretty weak.
Hector, one of these creatures is going to, I don't think it will crawl over you. It's going to crawl to you and bite into you. Let's see. This one is not baned. I think that's still a 15. I think these have +3. Yeah, 15 misses. You right? Your AC 16. And then 2 claws. And then the one above you is going to continue to try to bite, claw, claw. Hector, what would you like to do?
Looking through this window of this house, Hector's trying to quickly see, is there a door on the far left side or another, like, an actual regular entrance?
I got 3 zombies on you. If you want to look in there right now and ignore the fact that you are getting clawed into shreds of flesh, I'm going to take your action away. Do you want to do a perception check?
I want to dive in there without thinking too much.
So they are all going to reach out and claw at you. So we're going to go for the 2 baned ones first. So first bane, miss. Second bane, that one's going to probably hit regardless. 17 plus 3, 20, that'll be a hit. And it's going to do 4 slashing damage to you, and I need a Constitution saving throw, and then the unbaned is going to hit and do another 5 slashing and another Constitution saving throw, please. But that's 10 movement, and you are inside of the room. There is a door pretty much directly ahead of you if you continue to go west. So Bane will drop.
Okay. And
Do a
I
perception check for me as you run in there, actually. Gotcha. I don't think you can miss this. I shouldn't have asked. So as you leap over Sinmorn and you are looking for this door, you're at least going to notice Sinmorn doesn't look like somebody who just got killed. There's a lot of blood in here for them not to be bloodied. Their flesh doesn't look all that injured, but you are over before noticing anything else.
so the panicked reason I had been getting in here was to touch Sinmorn's body, not knowing the condition with spare the dying.
Yeah, you can certainly do that and burn your action there, but as another thing, Sinmorn was already dead, like beyond spare the dying.
Okay, well, I'd still like to do it and just see if anything happens, considering the strange circumstances we're in.
That's the end of your turn.
Well, I don't know if I can really hit anyone, kind of like
Well,
coming.
spare the dying is your action, though, so
Yes, I would like to burn that because I don't, after scrambling through this window, I don't really think I can strike back without moving, outside of the house.
so as you reach down to place your hand on Sinmorn and to save their life and prevent their body from any further desiccation, you are going to see as Sinmorn reaches up, they're going to grab your arm and almost take your hand as if you're giving them a hand up. But when Sinmorn pulls to lift themselves, I need you to make a strength saving throw because Sinmorn almost pulls you to the ground. That'll be sufficient. You can maintain your balance. It takes a lot more strength than you would have thought. Sinmorn, how much do you actually weigh, Sinmorn?
I weigh 140.
Gotcha. So, Hector, you're pretty well rounded with fighting different people inside of different camps between like fighters and other paladins. The way Sinmorn was throwing around their weight there, you were getting manipulated in a way of a far more skilled, far, far stronger person. But with that, we are going to go to Sinmorn's turn. You can stand up here, Sinmorn. What would you like to do as this power flows through you?
I'm gonna turn around and rip apart one of the zombies.
Gotcha. So one of them is directly on the opposite side of that window, and it was clawing out at Hector as he's climbing his way in. So make your if you don't pick up your weapon, you're unarmed right now. Exactly. So solid strike into it. Roll. Oh, there's no damage. It's just 8 damage. But you can make another attack unarmored or unarmed. That as well will hit, dealing another 8 damage. Roll 2d20 for me, please. So Hector, as you are reaching down to do this, and as Sinmorn kind of pops themselves back up, they turn around and with two quick punches, just right into the chest of this creature that was clawing at you. And there's just an explosion of bone as the other arm flies off of this creature. And with the next punch, its entire lower torso is cut off, and you can just hear like the sounds of this zombie on the other side of this door is just kind of creeping forward. There's two arms clawing them their way into the window still, but this creature is now effectively limbless. Any movement from you, Sinmorn, or would you like to do anything as a bonus action?
I'm gonna do Bardic Inspiration.
Gotcha. At present, you can see Hector, so inspiring Hector.
Hector, what you gonna do?
I will be inspired.
And then Raymond, what would you like to do here?
Is this
Oh
thing-
shit! I make a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Me?
Yeah, you haven't actually applied that Searing Smite yet, so you're still concentrating on it.
Yeah, I still have that.
I think twice actually I've hit you at least, so make two of them. First one's good, second one's good. All right, what would you like to do here?
All right, I'd like to swing at this thing with my mace that has Searing Smite on.
Did you apply the other 4? I don't think it'll actually. Yeah, because it'd be another -2. Yeah, that would still hit. So that'll deal 3 bludgeoning, and then apply the Searing Smite. As you swing through with the mace, the darkness almost just kind of like moves out of the way of the mace and then almost coalesced behind it. But you can actually see as these wisps just seem to kind of like burn up like a very thin paper in the air, kind of floating out of a fireplace. But it seems effective. Any movement or bonus action from you?
Now I'm just gonna try to move away from this thing.
You're going to move away again. It's going to strike out at you again. And this time it's going to crit. And it's going to do 20 damage of necrotic to you. And then it's going to reduce your strength by a further 3 points.
Put it at 0.
But 20 is not going to take you past your max, right? Your max is 21. Yep. So you are still alive. You're unconscious down on the ground, severely injured. And it's going to go to Ali as you watch your friend fall to the ground. The last little bits of his life are being siphoned into this creature as it is almost mouth to mouth over top of him, just inhaling his life force.
All right, that's wonderful. So I'm just gonna, let's see here. So if I were to, let's say, cast like Cure Wounds on him, run over there and touch and cast Cure Wounds, would that bring him back up and back to consciousness?
It will indeed.
And then if I don't, he's going to have to do some death saving throws, correct?
If I can't kill him,
And so next turn you would be attacking him again, I guess, then.
I think it's pretty
Presumably.
safe to say that the way this creature has been acting, the moment they set eyes on Raymond, they've been trying to kill him. There have been very few things that have distracted these creatures from him.
Okay, so what I'll go ahead and do is with my free action, I'll draw one of my short swords, and I'll go ahead and run at this darkness creature, and just go ahead and attack it with my short sword. And I'll also, if I hit, I'll go ahead and throw the planar warrior into it if I hit. That's an extra D8.
Gotcha. So you've got to drop your bow to do this. So go ahead and move on over there and make that attack.
So on my last action, I use my free action to put away my bow. Or on my
Alright,
last
gotcha.
turn, I suppose. That's a 13 to hit.
13 hits.
Uh, 6 points of damage. Plus an additional 3 points of damage for the that planar warrior attack.
Planar warrior adds more slashing to it, or is it a different or more piercing damage?
Yeah, so it says as a bonus action, you can choose one creature you see within 30 feet, and then when you hit them, it throws an extra 1d8 force damage
No,
into
it's
it.
force damage. The moment you hit them with the force damage, this thing's going to disintegrate.
Got ya. So the force damage is right when you hit it with the sword.
My point is that the force damage is actually, you guys attack those things with a lot of stuff that was not very effective. The force damage was among those things that was the only stuff that y'all were doing that was fully effective. And the radiant would have been really effective had I not saved it, and it was a cantrip. But Raymond
Got ya.
does not know that.
Okay, and then with I should still have Zephyr Strike active. I think we've only gone through maybe 4 or 5 turns of actions, which then lasts 6 turns because it's a minute, correct?
Last 10 turns. But
10
isn't it
turns.
just the first time you use it? You used it, and that uses it up.
So it's a cantrip and it's concentration up to a minute.
But when you cast it, it uses the actual strike once before the
Yes.
spell ends, and then it's gone.
So, yes, so that's actually for the attack aspect of it, but the Zephyr Strike itself, it says
That is, it's a lot like a paladin's smites, where you can cast it on yourself as a bonus, and then the first time you use it, the spell dissipates.
Got ya. So is it possible just to use it and then I guess for that whole minute and just move around and then use, I guess, that attack part of it like at the very end of
The
that?
movement you only get when you take that advantage. That's what I was saying that turn, that if you don't use the advantage, you don't get the movement that turn.
Got you. Okay, thank you so much for clearing that up. I appreciate that. So I could cast it as my bonus action this turn, and it would be applied towards next turn, correct? Or I
Indeed.
could use it presumably. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then the only other thing that I'll do is I'll just step a little further back, seeing that these creatures are kind of walking out of this house towards us.
And what would you like to do here, Rin?
All right. I guess I'm going to take a take an interest in those two undead things to the north.
They're definitely
And
not uninteresting.
all right. And I would like to cast my magic missile at level 1 for
Gotcha. What are you targeting?
those 3. 2 on the left and 1 on the right.
Roll perception for me. You can see all 3 of them. The one to the north is basically a torso, and the one on the left is, I believe that one is missing an arm and a leg.
Do I know anything about dead things? Do I know what is going to damage them more than my fire?
I mean, I'm saying you're still casting the magic missile. I'm not trying to stop you from that. I'm trying to give you that doesn't take like time to figure out like what condition they're in.
Oh,
The
no, I
2 on
know.
the left are the more injured ones. But at this point, you do not know whether fire is more, less, or unaffected against undead.
All right. So I'll still take my I think this is my second first level shot. Yeah, my second first level spell slot to expend.
So you're sticking to that 2 on the left, 1 on the right.
Yep.
Gotcha. Roll 2.
Roll to what?
D4. Like I want the first 2 and then the third. Yeah. So the first one on the left is going to take 7 more. Roll 2 D20. Oh, so close. Yeah, that is. So your first shot is going to pop right through this creature's neck as its head is just going to fall down to the ground, and it's still just kind of moving forward, like chomping with its teeth. And then the second hit is going to take off another one of its legs. Effectively, the point is that every time you guys hit these things, they fall apart, but the parts still just keep moving. And the last missile for the one on the right, and then a d20 to follow with it as well. Roll the d4 though for the missile. That one's going to take the head off of the other one too, though. Another 5.
Yep.
This is way more complicated than it should be. I now have like 15 NPCs on the board. I think each attack is just going to target you all separately. So first one is going to go 3, 2, 5.
What are you talking about? 15 NPCs? Are you talking about body
If
parts?
you remove their limbs move separate from them and can attack separate. So like all of their attacks basically can separate.
It's like a zombie Hydra.
Yeah. Visually, is there any way to like track all of these little limbs crawling around, or?
When I first used these zombies, I actually had them all set, but I was not prepared to necessarily use these. This was purely the special circumstance of whenever you walk into a house in Barovia, you roll to see what's inside of it. And Sinmorn rolled for zombies. So the first attack is going to be a bite attack on Raymond. The head is just going to bite into you. And oh yeah, that's gonna crit. It's gonna do 2 death saving throws on you.
What?
I didn't even need to roll. Because you didn't choose to heal him, right? He's still unconscious on the ground.
I can't.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's 2 death saving throws failed. And then
How do I
next
roll
one-
those? Sorry.
No, it's not rolls. Like when you're down, when I attack you and you're unconscious, 1 hit is auto death saving throw gone, like from a ranged weapon. If it's a melee attack, it's an auto critical, and that's 2 death saving throws. The second attack is going to be a claw against Sinmorn. Sinmorn, roll a d20. You can have 6 hit points back from your Dark God. The attacking claw is going to miss you, and then the last claw is going to go. I feel like I have to duplicate this some. The last claw is going to go towards Rin, and 16 should hit you, Rin.
What?
One of the zombie claws is going to like sneak up on you
Yeah.
on the ground, and it's just going to claw into your leg for 4 points of slashing damage. I guess technically, if you've got a spell slot left, you can shield it.
I do, and I can.
So you can burn that spell slot and not take the damage. The next zombie is gonna go for. Oh yeah, that person's fucked. Sinmore. Wait, how did I get? No, Hector.
Could we get maybe a little status on the biggest zombies, like the most complete parts of the bodies, just so it's less confusing what's like a arm versus the zombie?
This is all around 2 confusing. So at this point, pretty much no. What I've got going on is I copied them in a way that theoretically I can keep track of them as the same one. But like the zombie that just attacked, basically its head moved towards Raymond. Its torso is just kind of sitting there next to the window, and an arm went to Sinmorn and an arm went to Rin.
I feel like it's broken apart and moving so slowly that how could it get such a substantial attack in on as just a hand crawling up as a hand? It's not
It's a
even.
good feeling, but it's still trying to attack you.
Well, I get it, but it would be coming from. I'd see it coming from miles away slowly because it's just a hand with no legs. So I feel like
Or you would ignore it because it's just a hand. So the zombie that moves in on you, Hector, is going to bite at you and miss. It's going to claw at you and miss. And then the last claw is going to sink into you, dealing 2 slashing damage.
Okay. And just to clarify, are the buffs gone that I had on 2 of them?
Yeah, when you failed that Constitution saving throw, that's when the buffs fell. You have to maintain concentration to hold Bane.
I got my damage set. Is it my turn?
Nope, nope. I'm still upkeeping all of these NPCs. Yeah, that's definitely just going to be death to Raymond, pretty much guaranteed. You'll see as the remaining parts of that same zombie are all going to claw over on their way to Raymond's corpse. The first one with advantage, the bite, is going to hit, and that's going to be a kill. We're going to do the exact same thing all over again. We're going to take a break here. If I can steal Raymond away, we're about to find out if Raymond is willing to sell his soul.
This is a rough battle.
This is the first time I'm running out of spell slots. And
Y'all
I
ever hear the saying, don't split the party? There's a reason.
Yeah.
I'm still like just.
You hear and speak in here, Raymond.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes. So if I can, let me have you roll a d20, please. Alrighty. So, as you are feeling this creature that's sucking the life from your body, you can feel as it's latching on to your holy power and have this sensation that it's trying to eat that very part of your body that makes you a cleric is what it is trying to feed on. It wants the deity within you, and you can feel as it's sucking away the actual life force that keeps you breathing and keeps you fighting. And moment by moment, you feel as your muscles are getting weaker, and then you don't feel anything. And for a few moments, the pain goes away, and that's kind of reassuring. You feel like for a moment, perhaps you just got knocked out. But perhaps something worse actually happened. Because you don't see anything. You're surrounded in darkness. You don't feel, you don't smell. Your senses have all been numbed. And as you kind of sit in this moment, trying to feel for anything, you start to see just a tiny little bright light or line. You can almost see it's kind of like wisping away from you. Just this bright light is almost flying as fast as you can think away from your body. Your mind, you don't have a body. And as you focus on this for a moment, you're going to start to see an incredibly bright blue light just ahead of this little white light. And as you kind of focus on the blue, you start to see that the blue makes the light of this little line silver. And you can kind of see this line become a little bit more true to form. And as you're kind of going over, you can start to see your inner sense of yourself, but you still can't touch your face. You know where your eyes are. You can't block your vision with your hand. And you just feel like you can see whatever this silver thing is, and it's dragging you closer and closer to this bright, bright blue light. And the closer you get to it, the more it becomes an actual circle before it eventually is going to drag you to so close of a moment where you don't feel heat, but you can see that this is a blue burning flame. And the only thing that you can see that is not this blue fire is this tiny little shred of silver that has become almost the only familiar thing since you lost your feeling. And this silver line is dragging you closer and closer. You feel like you're looking over your shoulder, looking over your other shoulder to the right. You feel like you're looking everywhere and just seeing this blue. Before, as a few moments pass, you're going to start to hear 1,000 voices in your head, and all of them are chanting one thing. First a whisper, some a cackle, others just very calmly flowing. Kirad, 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 Kirad. And as these chants kind of continue forward, on and on, it becomes a cacophony where you can hear this Kirad, you can see this blue fire all around you. And then you're just going to hear, hello, child. Your soul is forfeit. You will never find freedom from this place. You will know nothing but pain where you lie. What would you pay to see the other future? And the chanting's going to start back up, and you're just going to hear Star of Secrets. Star of Secrets. And over again, you're going to hear this chanting and that same thought where it's what would you give to see the other futures?
Oh, what would the what would the other futures be? I suppose, like, what would I imagine that is?
Roll a Constitution saving throw. You are going to feel a shriek of pain as your entire vision is just burning with this blue light. And you have a weird sensation that you just saw one, two, thousands of different worlds. All of them where you're stuck in Barovia, but every single choice that you made led to a different world, and you just experienced them all. But the answer to your question is you can see them. But will you let me feed on your soul?
No, I don't think I would. I can't have you steal my religion.
So if you would like to deny Kirad your soul, I need you to create a new character.
Understood. Would that be? Can I come back level 3?
Yeah, you'll still come back at level 3.
All right. I'm gonna create a new character. I think.
Gotcha. So that's kind of what we'll progress through with that. For what it's worth, I think we're about to fast forward through a little bit of this here. Do you have any idea about a backup character right off the bat?
I do not. I'm gonna probably look through the handbook a little bit this week. I mean, do you have any recommendations?
Oh, I mean, one thing on a regular basis that I say to people is when a character dies, it doesn't mean that you have to abandon the character you were playing and like a character concept, like what the character you were playing was. You just have to create a new version of that character. So if you want to create another cleric fighter, that is perfectly acceptable. In a lot of games, I say the easiest thing is to say, hey, I'm Raymond's twin brother, but you guys can still call me Raymond if that makes sense. That's one of my favorite lines from Beer Fest, where they like replace the guy with his twin brother, and they're like, "You guys mind just calling me Dumpster?" I can't think of his name, but
Landfill.
yeah, Landfill. Yep, and that's exactly what I feel like makes the most sense in D&D, and I have to assume those guys were D&D players when they said that. But that's one of those things. You don't have to be super creative because you are losing out on playing Raymond. You just have to also let Raymond go too. So it can affect your next character. You could create somebody entirely different. As a DM, somebody who plays a lot of NPCs, all of my characters are ready to die, but I also understand that I'm like the exception to the rule rather than other people. So you don't necessarily have to limit yourself either.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Because yeah, I'd like to make a few tweaks, but I would like to stay pretty similar. So thanks for that.
Yeah, I would 100% say that would be a perfectly fine idea, and shouldn't really mess with anything. Don't want to exclude you from the game, and I do want to wrap this combat because I never expected it to go this far as is. So I think what we're gonna do is I might just very quickly create um a character and let you like kind of jump in and kind of finish things here. Does that sound all right to you?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. I can also sit silent the rest of the round too, but your call.
No, that's exactly what I mean. Like I don't want to do.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm in.
So yeah, I'm going to pop you back to the other chat here. If you need to take a break, I'm going to take that the last little bit here to create this character for you, and then I will join the group and let you take control of it. Oh, actually, when I do say that, you'll basically like go back to the campaign page where you would select Raymond now, and I'm going to end up deactivating Raymond. Um, and I think that makes it so you could select another character and it'll say claim underneath. I think like right now you probably see like view, edit, copy, and delete maybe. And one of those will say claim. I'm basically just going to create a character and have you claim them.
Okay. Let me get to that page real quick.
I actually have to find the same link. So if you need a second, I can definitely send it to you when I grab it.
Yeah. Are you talking? Is this on the Roll20 page?
No, my bad. This will be in D&D Beyond for the actual character sheet. As far as Roll20 goes, I'm going to have you play with that same like Raymond token, or I'll create something else. But in the long run, like the token is the least of the worries here. I just want to again not have you like completely lost.
Gotcha.
Do you have any problem if I throw you in as the female?
No.
All right. You're actually going to get to play as Sophia. So the moment the combat ends, when they try to talk to you, that's when we're going to end things because I'm not going to let you say anything as a main character in the campaign.
Gotcha. Where is it just the one there? The level 1?
No, my bad. That's a psych out. I forgot. That actually ruined something else. No, I haven't actually joined it. Oh yeah, I'm joining it and creating it. I think you have to wait for me to claim it, but if you can press claim right now, you could claim it.
No, it doesn't say claim yet. It just says your character. But I see it.
Yeah, I shouldn't be long though. I'm actually going to pop us back in there though, so I can let everybody else know.
Okay, cool. I can hop in.
What up, everyone? We're just taking a few more moments here, and we'll have everything all set. Hi, can you all hear me? Is anybody here?
Yep, we're all here.
Word. That was like really quiet.
We were just like all chatting and hanging out right to the second before you got here.
I think this is the least amount that we've ever moved in one day of exploring.
I'm gonna be pretty forward here. This is one of the reasons why some people absolutely hate combat. Is because it is so easy to just get lost in combat for way too long. Because this is still less than like a minute of time has passed since you all first saw Rin.
Yeah, we quite literally we got 30 feet outside of the hotel.
I'm enjoying it because it's so dangerous. It is taking a while, but it's fun still, I think.
Agreed. It's always fun to fight new foes.
Wow, normally you have to like choose to go into a house. Like I thought Ali was gonna do it one of those days where he was like fighting with the mist to get up to a house. I thought you were gonna bust in and you were gonna be the first person to roll to see what is actually in a house.
Yeah, I was really close that day. I decided instead to knock on the door to be a little bit more cordial.
Oh my god. Alrighty. Did I actually complete his equipment? No. Alrighty. Tony, can you see Ismark? Let me make sure that I joined the campaign. I thought I did. Or wait, can you reload the page and see if you can see Ismark?
Yep, I see him.
Can you roll a d20 for me, Tony? Alrighty, interesting move there.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've got it on initiative count 0 right now. I'm gonna say, regardless, we're just gonna throw you in right now, before we actually move there. So Tony, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see Ismark. If you look at the character, do you see the character sheet now?
Not yet. I see Ismark. Click on him. I don't see where to claim yet. But yeah, I see the sheet.
I have to unassign because it's currently assigned to me. That was the problem. That was my fault.
Gotcha. But yeah, I see the sheet.
All right, now it should be unassigned down below Sinmorn. May have to deactivate Raymond first. How about now? Can you claim Ismark?
Yep, I see that.
Excellent. So we're gonna start with you. You are effectively noticing the commotion at this point because I don't want to kill any other players tonight. And you are a crossbow expert. What that ends up meaning is you can use your crossbow or your longbow, but he is essentially a ranged fighter for what it plays out as right now. And whether you are in melee or not, like, a lot of things don't matter. But run forward and shoot shit and help these people who you met at the bar 2 nights ago? Last night? 2 nights ago? I think 2 nights ago.
Would I just bring out the same token I had?
Oh, no. You should be able to control Ismark. He's down at the bottom of the screen right now. If you scroll down, you should be able to see him down there. My point of putting you down there, though, is that's where his house is.
Gotcha. I don't want to run as far in as I can.
So you can take those 30 and then take a shot. Wait, I forgot to color key these as shit went down. I feel like 3 of them. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think the torsos. That's what it really comes down to. You've got to attack the torsos. For what it's worth, if you attack any of the actual parts of it, that's fine. But you can see that there's like claws clawing at the body of Raymond. You can see that there is a claw clawing at this woman who's kind of standing out in like her kind of like beat up traveling clothes. You can see Ali kind of going crazy with his swords, like striking out at one of these creatures. And then the other one kind of, I think that one's probably out of view because that's a claw reaching out to Sinmorn.
Is there a torso over here by Raymond's body?
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I'm not even like going for like that end of it. If you can tell me which one you would like to attack, it's going to go towards like the hole, basically.
I'll attack the one that's over by the wizard.
Gotcha. So let's see an attack. That's going to be a solid hit. And Oh shit, that was not what I wanted to do. That is going to take that one into like a mortal wound. So you're actually going to like pierce through the hand itself. It's probably a little bit less effective, but it can probably also still do damage. And sadly, at this point, that's actually kind of the extent of what you can do with Ismark. But we are going to go back up to Hector inside of the building as you are watching Sinmorn kind of turn into some sort of juggernaut. Did I lose Brendan?
I'm still here. Sorry, just munched on a snack. I wasn't listening too closely.
It's on you. What would you like to do?
I would like to strike out at this limb in front of me, or whatever's in
That's
front of me.
actually a that's actually a full zombie on that one, but you can make those attacks.
Okay, I'm going to slash with both swords here.
Bam, bam, and roll 2d20 for me as well. You do not have auto crit set. Can you roll a extra d6 on that crit? So the head's gonna pop off on that first strike. No, it's the second strike. And it's just gonna kind of roll to the floor as it's still like trying to bite at your ankles. Any movement or yeah, I think just movement from Hector. Otherwise, it will go to Sinmore.
I would like to move kind of near the door, but that's as far as I'll move.
Gotcha. As you move away, those two are going to bite out. So the head biting at you is going to miss, and then the clawing at you is going to miss. Sinmorn, what would you like to do?
I want to attack again. I want to punch.
Gotcha. You want to punch the claw that's like moving in on you, or do you want to punch the creature that's like off to kind of your northwest right now? Both of them look injured. The claw pretty close to death.
Gonna go for the claw.
Roll that first attack. Still going unarmored. Okay. Solid hit. That's just going to decimate the claw as it just kind of like disintegrates into chunks of bone and rotted flesh.
Hell yeah. Um. I think that's
One
it.
more attack.
Oh, I do.
No. Technically, your hands are light weapons, so you can make another strike unarmored.
Hell yeah.
With that, you're going to fumble as you kind of go to cross your body with the second strike, and it's just enough where maybe you're just not used to all of these muscles. You're just not nearly as flexible, perhaps, as you once were, but you're just not able to get across and get in on that zombie. As you are watching Raymond get torn apart, Ali, you're going to see as one of these heads, a torso, and a claw just all drop to the ground and aren't moving. What would you like to do, Ali?
So these other pieces, what am I looking at here exactly?
The actual markings are for the head and 2 claws, but I think that is another one that was effectively. It's also got 2 feet that are kind of hopping around, as well as a torso that's kind of like moving behind.
Okay.
And
That's
just
what I mean. Like these things become 6 NPCs to themselves. It's a lot of shit to deal with.
so, but it's not like I'm sorry, if we get rid of the torso, does the rest of it go away, or do we have to fight
They
each?
all share hit points. You
Okay.
can't actually kill any of it until you kill the whole thing. Nothing happens except for Hector found the one thing that really happens that's kind of a problem with them is they're individual monsters. So if you move away from a head and a head and the claw now get to attack instead of before it just had one opportunity attack.
Got it.
But as
All
far
right.
as things go, like the magic is still animating like the actual being.
Yeah, so seeing that, I have this Zephyr Strike kind of locked and loaded, I will go ahead and I'm going to attack this one that's right in front of me with my short sword. Actually, really quickly, could I use a free action to pull out my other short sword before attacking?
Certainly.
Okay, so I'll draw out my other short sword with my free action, and I'll go ahead and attack with my short sword. And I'm going to throw in that Zephyr Strike into it. I'll also throw in Planar Warrior, which is an additional D8 if I hit.
What did you roll to hit? Rodney, what was your roll to hit?
It was a 17. I don't know if you can see this 11
Did
that's
you
right
roll
here.
with advantage? What I was saying though is if you're gonna roll dice, I need you to call them out.
Every time that I roll, sorry about that. I was just trying
Did
to
you
keep track
roll
of
with
the dice.
advantage with that?
I used the lucky to throw in that second dice throw, that D20.
Your Zephyr Strike gives you advantage though, so you should have had advantage with the attack was my point. So you don't have to burn lucky there. And what's your main damage? And then what's the Zephyr Strike damage?
So my main damage is going to be a 7, which is right here. It's the D6 plus
That's gonna
4.
kill it.
Okay. So I guess I don't have to throw in that.
You're burning it still. The Zephyr Strike is burning. Like whatever you're going to burn to kill this thing, you still have to burn it.
Does that take out those other limbs, it looks like?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The entire creature still shares hit points.
Got ya. Cool. So good to know. So yeah, I just come wielding through with my sword and just light that thing up. And then with the remainder of my action, I'll just go ahead and move towards this door right here.
Gotcha. You got 55 feet. There's nothing that's going to stop you from getting to the door. Rin, what would you like to do?
One quick question: since I have two-handed weapon fighting and I have that second weapon drawn, can I actually attack the door?
No, that was my point, is that you were going to burn your favorite foe or whatever it was to kill that thing. You were burning it. Like once you hit, you were doing all of the damage you could.
So I didn't use favorite foe. I used the Zephyr
But my
Strike.
point was the planar detect portal, planar warrior.
Yeah, the
When
planar
you hit
warrior.
You said you were going to planar warrior. You're using that action
If I
to
hit,
kill
got
that
ya,
thing.
got ya,
Yeah.
got ya. So
My
I
point
lost the
was,
bonus
once
action.
you did enough damage, you were killing that thing 100%.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
But like, you don't know these things like moment to moment. You're not the person playing the game. You're supposed to be Ali. So you're applying all of these mechanics as you can. And knowing that you've already hit, it tends to be better to do your planar warrior than to try to hit with another weapon. Rin, what would you like to do?
I'll follow into the room, so I'll just take a movement.
Gotcha. I'm very sorry. I feel like Ismark is not going to actually be able to be terribly functional on that run forward. You could hold an action for something else, but I think realistically, this is probably going to get cleaned up by Sinmorn and Hector at this point.
Sounds good.
And actually, at that rate, I'm just going to go ahead and say this is a perfect time for us to actually call this. Those last two. Yes, they should. Let's see what they're thinking. So the main body, and then the head. So one is Hector with the head. So let's roll that real quick. 15 will hit with an 18 on Hector. Oops, my bad. It's going to do 2 plus 1, so 3 total damage as it bites into you, Hector. And then the other one, 8. Sinmorn, take an attack of opportunity as that is going to run out of the building.
What do I roll for that?
Just a normal attack. You can do, you're still unarmed, so just an unarmed strike. And that'll do 9 more, right? Your damage is 8.
Yeah.
So Ali, as you run up to the door, you're just going to see this headless creature. I think it's hopping on one leg. I feel like it had a leg removed earlier. And it's going to claw out at you twice.
Wait, isn't there a door?
There is indeed. It can kick the door open. Doesn't matter. It's going to claw out at you. A 10
But wait,
I think misses.
wouldn't
and a
it have to take an action to kick out the
A
door?
free action? It can free action open the door. It's an
So
object interaction.
presumably this thing has enough consciousness to open the door?
It can jump through the door. I don't care. It's attacking you, Ali. 15, I believe, hits you. Yeah, that is your AC. So one of the claws is going to slash into you, and it is going to deal 2 slashing damage. And that is where we are going to end this, as Sinmorn and Hector destroyed the last of these zombies. With Ismark coming to your aid, we will pick up, I guess, in the exact same spot next week. Tony, if you want to talk about your character during this week, holler at me, and we will see which way everything goes. As you get close to doing all of the rolls, we can get those set as well. Let me know if you end up with any other questions, though.
Sounds good. This is quite the evening.
Definitely one of those moments where you can never predict where something's going to go.
So you rolled a 15 earlier. I have like a 16 armor. So is that just wanted to understand what was going on there?
I rolled a 15, but my creatures have modifiers too. It hit with an 18.
Got it. Okay. Just trying to understand. Thanks.
I roll my dice so you all can see them, but I do not take the time to type in
you went dead there, but I assume you meant to say type in all the modifiers. For...
Like I can do stuff like that, but that is a waste of time when I am playing 5 to like 15 different NPCs. You guys will always see my natural dice rolls and have no clue what the modifiers are. That's part of why I keep my cheat sheet. So most of the time when I am sounding off with what your AC is, it's because I'm checking that I'm actually looking at it correctly, not that I don't know. Because like I keep all of your stats in front of me. So in general, I can do all of the dice rolls without necessarily telling you. And part of that is also if I say, you know, like Rin with shield is a perfect example of saying Rin does a 13 hit you. Rin knows that she has 11 AC, but if she wants to proc shield, she can tell me that she has 16 AC as she uses her reaction cast shield. But especially with like bigger monsters, sometimes you all will be fighting something that has like a +10 or a +15. Like if you're watching something where it rolls like a 5 or a 6 type of thing, there's stuff that will hit you when I'm rolling low. And that's one of those things, like there's modifiers that you just don't necessarily see. As you go on in the fight though, I usually give a little bit more information as the fight goes to actually give you all a sense of how, like the prowess of different creatures, because you will definitely pick up stuff that is like zombies. They've got a +3. These are definitely things. That's part of why I was describing them attacking Sinmorn, as it's more that they're throwing their body weight at Sinmorn than that they're actually attacking. These things just like pile forward and claw out things in front of them.